Hi guys, Keitru64 here. Today we're talking about physical media, but instead of doing a collection update video this month, I thought it'd be more fun to kind of do something Halloween related, hence I'm pulling out the Halloween shirt. I picked 20 movies off of my shelf, and these are 20 movies that I normally watch around Halloween. Now, some of these are like annual watches, some of these are biannual, but all of these are movies I usually go to when Halloween comes around. Now, there are some horror movies in here, but there's also some nostalgia picks. There's some like family movies, there's some comedies, a pretty wide variety of movies that I like to watch around Halloween, not just horror movies. With all that said, let's go ahead and jump into the video. All right, we're going to kick this list off with a movie that some of you may have some nostalgia for, like I do. Some of you may not even know what this movie is, but When Good Ghouls Go Bad. Now, this was an ABC TV movie back in 2001. Starred Christopher Lloyd, story by R.L. Stine of Goosebumps fame. And this is one that I just remember watching on TV every year when it came around. And then I kind of forgot a little bit about it for a while. And it came to mind again, and I was trying to find it. Couldn't find it anywhere. A couple of years went by. Eventually, I found the DVD at the used bookstore. And since then, it's kind of become another one of the annual watches for me around Halloween. It's got the TV movie feel. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Obviously, very Halloween oriented. It's a really fun movie, in my opinion. Like, I think it still holds up. If you remember watching it when you were younger and thinking it was pretty good, if you went back and watched it now, you probably are going to think about the same. It's one of those that definitely holds up. So anyway, definitely one that I watch around Halloween all the time. When Good Ghouls Go Bad.
When Good Ghouls Go Bad. Tonight at 8, 7 Central on Fox Family. It will be a night to dismember. Anybody else want a piece of me?
Next up, we've got this one. I've almost watched every single Halloween since its release back in 2006. Almost every Halloween. I missed some here or there, but Monster House. I love this movie. I do have the 3D. Whenever I watch it, since I've got my 3D projector, since I've had that for a few years now, every year since I've had that, I have watched this in 3D. I prefer it in 3D. Some people have some issues with like the motion capture here. This is the same kind of motion capture they used for Beowulf, which some people didn't like that one so much. It was a Robert Zemeckis movie, produced by Robert Zemeckis and Steven Spielberg. But really good movie, really good animated movie. It always gets me in the Halloween season. I just love the visuals. The movie's very tightly paced. This is like one of my favorite animated movies. Definitely a major Halloween pick for me. Almost every Halloween, this one goes into the player. Next up is another nostalgia pick, a movie from 1993 that stars the Sanderson sisters, which is Hocus Pocus. You can tell that I'm a 90s kid. This one was another one watched almost every Halloween on TV growing up, and I didn't watch it for a little while, went back and watched it again when I was older. I think it still holds up. I remember as a kid I was so creeped out by parts of this movie, but it's fun to watch it now. There's like some crazy off the wall things. They don't make family movies like Hocus Pocus anymore. There's some crazy things in here that I'm like, how is that in a family movie? But regardless, really good movie, still holds up. A lot of nostalgia factor for me as far as why I like this one. So yeah, that one is obviously a good Halloween pick for me. And another one that's another nostalgia pick. I guess I front loaded this entire video with more nostalgia picks, but these are ones that I go back and watch around Halloween. These get me in the Halloween season. A movie from 1995, Casper.
Oh, look, it's Casper.
I think what's really crazy about this movie is I believe this is the first movie that had a fully CGI character and live action. I believe so. It's pretty early on, 1995. It's insane how good this still looks. Like the fact that this was CGI from 1995 and it still looks good is a testament to the effects here. But the music, I love the music for Casper. Just really like Casper. I mean, I don't know really what else to say other than it's another one that's been around since I was a kid, and I still watch it and still enjoy it. Now, this one, a lot of people don't necessarily associate with Halloween, but part of the movie does take place around Halloween. And that's E.T. Some people may forget the fact that this actually does take place around Halloween. There's even a scene where E.T. is dressed as Yoda in the movie. And obviously that's a shout out from Spielberg to George Lucas, his friend. But I really like E.T. It used to be one that I would watch just randomly throughout the year. But really in the last 10 years or so, it's really kind of become a Halloween pick for me to watch. Again, you can tell so far, a lot of these are kind of nostalgia picks, front loaded. We will get into more traditional Halloween, horror movies here in a minute, but I really do like E.T. For me, it's a Halloween pick. Another one we've got, which is one that I watch most Halloweens, and that is Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. I've got the DVD here. The Blu-ray released this month, a new Blu-ray. There was a 2-pack Blu-ray of this that released a couple years ago, but I just have the DVD here. I have an old retro room with a CRT TV. I do watch VHSs in there from time to time, old cartoons and stuff like that, and this is one of the ones that I watch. So, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, really solid. Whenever I was a kid, I grew up watching reruns of Scooby-Doo, and, there was a long span where there was nothing new from Scooby-Doo, and then this movie came out, Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, and it's another one that still holds up. I like Scooby-Doo. That's my favorite, probably Scooby-Doo thing.
Yes, it's terror time again. Oh, you just might die. It's a terrifying time.
So the next one is a very well-known movie from 1984, and that is, of course, Ghostbusters, the original Ghostbusters. I've got the Steelbook 4K here. Just one of the ones I always watch around Halloween. I guess it's because of the ghosts. I don't think there's anything necessarily in the movie that takes place around Halloween that I can remember right offhand. It definitely seems to kind of take place around the Halloween season or in the winter time frame, fall into winter time frame. That's always been my feel when I watch the movie, Ghost and everything else. So yeah, another one that's a Halloween go-to for me. This one's a little bit of an odder pick, I think. Some people may not associate this with Halloween, but I do. Clue. It's a comedy, but I love Clue. And it used to be one that I watched, randomly throughout the year. But again, more recently, kind of like E.T., it's kind of become a Halloween pick or an autumn pick, a fall pick for me to watch. And really love Clue. Anyway, there's that. Okay, so moving on to another nostalgia pick, Tower of Terror. I don't know how many of you guys remember this movie. This was another one that was a TV movie. This was the first Disney movie to be based on a amusement park ride, like before Pirates of the Caribbean or that Haunted Mansion movie or The Country Bears with starring Christopher Walken. There was Tower of Terror. Now, I always thought Tower of Terror was based on the Twilight Zone episode, which I thought is what the park was based on, but apparently I believe the park ride was based on the Twilight Zone episode, but then this is not based on the Twilight Zone episode. This is based on the amusement park ride. I don't know if that made any sense or not. I'm probably just going to keep it in so you know that I have no idea what I'm talking about, I guess.
What? What are you talking about?
But anyway, this was another one that was kind of a fun one to watch. This is full screen. I actually watched this on my projector. Kind of crazy to watch something that was made for TV, DVD on full screen format, and watching it on a 120-inch projector. But it's just another one. I remember watching it when I was younger. Forgot about it for probably 15 years, didn't even ever think about it again. Came across it at the used bookstore, picked it up, watched it again, and all the memories of seeing it came flooding back. And since then, I've watched it the last couple Halloweens. It's been one of the go-tos. So moving on from nostalgia stuff, I guess, to some, more classic Halloween stuff. Sleepy Hollow. This is from a movie from 1999. 1999 was such a great year. But really do like Sleepy Hollow. This is the 4K Steelbook here. Really solid look to it. Tim Burton, one of Tim Burton's best movies, in my opinion, outside of his produced stop motion stuff. Definitely a movie that gets me into the Halloween season, set at autumn time, at fall time. obviously about the Headless Horseman. I mentioned Christopher Walken starring in The Country Bears. He also stars in this as well. I don't think he has a single line in the movie. If I remember correctly, I don't think he has a single line other than he hisses because, he's headless. But anyway, this is another one that's definitely a go-to for Halloween for me. Next up is a classic. Probably a lot of people watch these things around Halloween, and that's the Universal Monsters. Instead of just picking one, I was like, let me just share these, because when I do put these on, I usually just kind of do a marathon. Like, I'll put in a couple discs and I'll just watch them. Obviously, these older movies are a lot shorter. I mean, some of the runtimes on these are like an hour and 15 minutes or something like that. Pretty concise. My favorite Universal monster is actually the creature from the Black Lagoon, which actually isn't even in this set. I do own that movie, but obviously Wolfman is probably my favorite out of this set. Outside of Creature from the Black Lagoon, Wolfman is one of my favorite ones to watch around Halloween. Then it's probably Frankenstein, and then Dracula, I believe. This was a steelbook that was released. Another go-to for me. And we got a cheesy pick here, or some people would consider this a very cheesy pick. I don't know how many people like this one. Van Helsing from 2004. Look, I understand the movie's not great, but it is fun. It is popcorn fun for me. You got all the monsters in this. Another one definitely makes me think about Halloween when I get this. It's like getting your Universal monsters all crammed into one movie. It's obviously of the time, released in 2004. Definitely has that mid-2000s, early 2000s vibe to it. But I really like it. This is definitely a fun one for me that I normally go back and rewatch around Halloween. I was happy to pick up the 4K a couple years ago because, a much better way to watch the movie. Another Halloween pick that I normally watch around Halloween, sometimes throughout the year, occasionally, but mostly a Halloween pick for me, and that is Beetlejuice, the original one from 1988. It's kind of insane that Beetlejuice, like Michael Keaton's amount of screen time in this movie is like 20 minutes or something like that. It's kind of insane. It's kind of nuts to think about, but definitely a Halloween pick for me, obviously just because of the vibes of it. I know that most of the movie takes place around fall, but it's not necessarily a Halloween movie. But again, some of these are not Halloween movies. They're like fall movies or just movies that I go back to watch around Halloween. So yeah, we got Beetlejuice there. Another going back to the monsters here. We've got Monster Squad from 1987, the 4K here. I actually just watched this movie for the first time 4 years ago, I want to say. 5 years ago. I think it's been about 5 years since I first discovered this one. And every year since then has been a Halloween mainstay for me. Just again, I like the Universal monsters. I like this kind of like Goonies meets the Universal monsters. It's got the 80s feel to it. Really fun movie. Really love Monster Squad. Definitely one of my go-tos for Halloween. Another one for Halloween, I guess moving into more like horror type things, which a lot of people obviously associate with Halloween horror movies. And I don't hate horror movies, by the way. I do comment on this channel that I'm not a big horror guy, but that doesn't mean I don't like them. I just mean it's not my favorite genre. And you may have guessed I got Ghostface right behind me. Scream. Scream's one that I watch randomly throughout the year, but again, in more recent years, I've kind of isolated it into an October watch for me. I like pretty much all of the Scream movies, even like the weaker ones like Scream 3 or this latest Scream, which I wasn't big on. I didn't dislike it, but I wasn't big on it. Mostly I like all of them. But the first one's still the best one, to be honest, and that's the reason why I just picked this one. I didn't want to load this entire 2020 list with Scream movies, so I just narrowed it down to one. Makes sense to pick the first one for that. Next, we've got The Faculty.
Critics are calling it hip and scary. A thrilling ride from beginning to end. The Faculty.
Some people may not associate this with Halloween either because the movie doesn't take place around fall or anything like that. It's just normal school season, but it's like a sci-fi horror teen movie, and I don't know. I always like the vibe. I like the sci-fi elements of this. It's got a mixture of a lot of different things. There's it seems like a little bit of a like teen slasher aspects to the movie somewhat. It just feels very of the time. It released in 1998, and I think this was Josh Hartnett's like one of his first movies, if not his first movie that he was starring in. I mean, you got Elijah Wood, Usher's in this, so kind of crazy. I think Jon Stewart's even in a part of this movie, if I remember correctly. He's like a teacher for like a little section of the movie. I believe that was before he was on the Daily Show, or whatever his late night show was called. I think it was the Daily Show. Anyway, The Faculty. This is what happens when I do these videos. When I don't have notes, I just go off on tangents. I like The Faculty. I associate with Halloween. It's kind of a horror. It is a horror movie. So, there we go. All right. Next thing, we've got some irreverent horror, which is kind of more of the stuff I like. And that's Tucker and Dale versus Evil. And
We've had a doozy of a day.
These kids started killing themselves all over my property.
one I've gone back to watch a lot. I used to just watch it randomly because I just think it's a funny movie. But again, more recent years, it's definitely been isolated to the October time frame as one of my Halloween go-tos to watch. Still holds up. I believe it was an indie movie. They've talked about doing a sequel for so long, and that's never culminated. But it doesn't matter if we get a sequel or not. We still got this one. Really fun movie if you've never seen it. Another irreverent movie that is also a horror is Cabin in the Woods. And I really like Cabin in the Woods. Now, this is a lot of fun. This has it's more traditional horror, I guess, but it knows it's a horror movie, kind of leads into it. It's kind of like Scream and like Tucker and Dale versus Evil, like those types of horror movies I'm bigger into. And this was the steelbook that released, which was pretty cool. There's the back and the front. I mean, that just looks, just look at that. Doesn't that look cool? And what's cool about this movie too, is that this movie had Chris Hemsworth in it, and he filmed this right before he was in Thor. And I think they delayed the release of this movie specifically to cash in on him being Thor for the movie to help sell the movie. But I don't think he needed it because it's a really fun movie. I don't even know how well it did at the box office or anything. Definitely a cult movie these days. And this, I would say, is probably the quintessential Halloween movie, and that is Halloween. I like John Carpenter stuff. I would put The Thing on here, but The Thing, I watch it all year round, random times, all the time. One of my favorite movies. So if I'm going to go with the John Carpenter movie, it's going to be Halloween. The soundtrack for this is like one of the things I associate most with Halloween, other than the Monster Mash from when I was a kid. Great soundtrack. It really sets up everything that slasher movies became from this. Just really solid. It's funny. It's almost quaint going back and watching it and comparing it to some of the way that the genre kind of moved from this. But really good, solid. I really love the soundtrack as much as anything in the movie. And I believe John Carpenter did the soundtrack for the movie as well. Finally, we've got something, I guess this is a little bit of a twist. This is the 20th movie here on the list. A little bit of a twist, and that's Stranger Things. Not really a movie, obviously. It's a TV show, but I do own it physically, so I figured I'll put it on the list. Part of the movie kind of takes place around Halloween. The second one, it takes place around fall and winter time. But Stranger Things 2 actually does take place at Halloween. But Stranger Things season 2 is not as good as the first one. None of them are as good as the first one. When Halloween comes around and I want to watch Stranger Things, I usually just go back to the first season. One that I go back and revisit, I think it's the only TV show that is like a TV show that I feel like I need to see at Halloween. So I figured I'd go ahead and put it on the list. I do own it physically. A great thing. And if you made it this far, because that was number 20, if you made it this far in the video, a little bit of a bonus, not really a movie, it's a special. That's Toy Story of Terror, which was an animated short, about 30 minutes long, 20 some odd minutes. Really fun thing. This is way better than Toy Story 4, in my opinion. Another little special that's kind of fun to go back and watch every once in a while. And so I figured I'd go ahead and throw this one in there too. There's obviously other movies and other things that are my go-tos. There's like Goosebumps, the Haunted Mask episode. I love going back and watching that. I have to watch that on streaming. There's other stuff that's like on streaming, the only way that I could watch it. There's TV specials and things like that that I like to go to watch around Halloween. But as far as like what I physically own, those would be my top 20. I do have some other horror movies and some other Halloween things that I cut from the list because I wanted to keep it down to 20. I successfully did here. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Are any of these movies that you go to watch around Halloween? I know it's a little bit of a stranger list that's out there because it's not all horror movies. A lot of people like horror movies and people watch horror movies around Halloween. And I do too, but I also watch other things, not just horror movies. Let me know what you think about some of these in the comments below, or let me know what your favorite go-to annual Halloween movies are, even if they're not even Halloween movies. Even if people don't think associate them with Halloween, you're the only one who does. That's cool too. Just comment and let me know. I'd be interested to see what you guys watch around the season. So, and I just want to wish everybody a happy Halloween. Be safe out there. I want to thank you all for sticking around on this video. Thank you, subscribers. All of you are awesome. And if you like this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube stuff or don't. I'm not a beggar. I'm Geetrue64, and I'll always tell you the truth.